Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Universal Spirit Center. Happy Resurrection Sunday. Happy Easter to all of you. I'm Kevin Busey. I have the great joy of being the spiritual leader of Universal Spirit Center. Thank you for joining us. I could watch here on my live screen and see who was joining in, so it warms my heart that we're here together this morning. And I miss you. I miss you on this Easter morning, and I look forward to us all coming together physically and celebrating again. And a special shout out to any of you who I have not met, who are new with us this morning. Thank you very much for joining us, and I look forward to the day in which I could meet you in person. So a couple things I want to share. We are both live on Facebook and on live streaming through our website. If you have a challenge with one or the other of these vehicles, we invite you to switch to the other one. Last week, Facebook went down and froze, and I know that was a struggle for some of you on Facebook. As well, the week before, sound on our website went down. So we ask you we appreciate your patience, and we ask you to just, if you can't hear us or we close down on one site, to move to the other. The other thing I'd like to share with you, something exciting that our practitioners are hosting, is 15 minutes before our gathering next Sunday, sort of 9:45, we're going to have a Zoom call chat room. So it's an opportunity for you to come through on our website and join our Zoom, and it is a chance for us to connect, just like we would on Sunday morning, connect with each other and share our lives with each other. As well, after our gathering next Sunday from about 11 to 11:30, that Zoom call, that chat room will be open. So we invite you to make use of that. Also, we have a fundraising contest. We're going to ask you, what color do you think Gino Walker's hair is this morning? What color do you think? I can't give you any hints, no clues, but just guess, and you could type in the color, and we could have a contest and see who wins. But I can't give you any hints as to the color. All right, so thank you for joining us. So I invite you to take a deep breath in. This song, that our prelude song, usually loud and rowdy. However, Georgia has a very beautiful song. Is it an Amy song? It's a Christy Snow song. And Amy, hey Amy, I know that you're watching. Hey Parker, if you're watching. Hey Dad, if you're watching. Dad, and take a breath in. Right into your heart. In this moment, let lesser things fall away and open to the brilliance of resurrection.
surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. Allow yourself to open and sing with us. I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms of love.
Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Yeah. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy Easter. Who won? Who would have thought Purple, huh? Yeah, Easter egg. Welcome to Universal Spirit Center. I am your musical director, Gino Walker. And it's an absolute joy and pleasure to celebrate this day with you. So we have a lot of wonderful yumminess in store. I don't know what the prize was, though, for what they won, if they did get purple. He'll take you out to lunch when it's socially acceptable.
Not taking no one out to lunch. I asked Gina if I could wear that wig this morning because it matched my shirt, but she wouldn't have it. So welcome, a special welcome to any of you who just joined us here on this Easter morning. We celebrate the rising up of the divine self this morning. So we're glad that you're with us. And during this very interesting time, I want to share with you some ways we're particularly serving you or reaching out to you or supporting you. Our Rise Up group, which used to be a women's only group, has opened up. So it's men and women, and it's every Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and it's run by Stephanie Reed. So we invite you to check that out, and you could simply send an email to lee@universalspiritcenter.org, and he will hook you up with how to get into that Zoom room. As well, our men's group is going to meet. We're going to have a Zoom meeting on April 20th at 6:30. That's Monday night. April 20th at 6:30, the men will get together through Zoom just as an opportunity to connect and to support each other during this time. And our own beloved Gino will be leading Awakening Wednesday night, this Wednesday night at 6:30. So come and check it out and see what color her hair will be that day. Also, I want to let you know that our practitioners are always available for prayer. So you would simply go to our website, click on guidance, and then pick a practitioner of your choice. And they are here ready, willing, and able to serve you. So I'm really excited that this morning Lee Armentrout from his home will lead us this morning in our time for meditation. So through video. But through videos. Oh, but prior to that, I got all excited about Lee. Prior to that, we have three teachers that are talking about classes they have coming up through video. So let's have those videos from our teachers. Lori, am I off? I don't know if I'm off. Am I off?
Good morning. One of the many licensed prayer practitioners here at Universal Spirit Center. And I'm here to invite everyone to sign up for my Creative Process of the Individual class. Have you ever thought of becoming a practitioner? Or you just would like to go deeper into your practice of the creative process? If so, this is the class for you. Join me on Wednesday, April 22nd at 6:30 p.m. online, and we'll explore together one of the fathers of New Thought, Thomas Troward. We will target on how you can understand and harness your internal genius to lead to a greater life of joy and prosperity. With command of your creative powers, you can manifest your potential and offer your unique gifts to the world more fully. This is a certificated class. If you've taken foundations, sign up online and join me on April 22nd at 6:30 p.m. for 8 Wednesdays. See you then.
Hello, Liz Myers here. I wanted to talk to you about a class that I will be teaching over Zoom starting Tuesday, April 21st at 6:30 p.m. This is a class that I am teaching through the Universal Spirit Center, and I hope that you will join me. I am a counselor, a teacher, a wellness coach. I've had my own experiences with working through my relationship with food to come to a place of balance and freedom, to really let go of guilt, to really break through any patterns I've had with kind of emotional eating and things of that nature. So if you're looking to find more balance with your eats and freedom and to really enjoy the fuel that you're putting into your body, mind, body, spirit with food, then please do join me. You can sign up. There's a price for Universal Spirit Center folks for members is $150. Otherwise, it's $175, and you can sign up through the website. Thank you so much.
Hey there, Universal Spirit Center. It is Brenda Edelman here. I'm so happy to connect with you. I'm leading my next 6-week workshop, Healing Through Story, Tell Yours, and I hope you'll join me. We start the last Tuesday in April 28th at 6:30 p.m. You can go to universalspiritcenter.org under classes to sign up. I'm going to help you find the story to tell. I'm going to help you develop it. We're going to meet in Zoom. I'm going to direct you, and at the end, we're going to have a performance before an invited audience, either virtually or in person. That would be exciting too. I look forward to working with you. Have a blessed, beautiful day.
So I want to give a special shout out to Gino, who made all that technology possible. So let's acknowledge Gino Walker for that. So now I get to introduce our prayer practitioner, our beloved administrator Lee Armentrout, who from his very own living room will lead us in our time for meditation.
Oh my goodness, I've been sitting here in this chair waiting to say hi to everybody. Happy Easter, everyone. I'm Lee Armentrout. I'm one of the prayer practitioners, and I happen to be the administrator. And this is our time for silence and contemplation and prayer. But I'm too excited. I just have to tell you how much I miss you guys. Having you guys part of my week. Giving hugs, and that part of me, I have to tell you, there's a real sadness that's in me, and I'm happy that I'm human because I get to hold that sadness, and I'm also divine, and I get to know that there's something bigger than we can even understand happening through us at this time. So just let you know that I love you so much, and I can't wait to see you in person. So, and happy Easter. So this is what we'll do. We'll have a reading by Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind and Spirit. I'll read those words and we'll take them in silence for about a minute, and then I'll bring us back out in prayer. So this is the time to get comfortable in your chair or wherever you are, probably in your jammies. That's cool. So take a deep breath and even get more comfortable. And just settle into this moment. Perhaps cast a blanket of acceptance over everything. Just be here now. And let's listen to the words of Ernest Holmes, our founder. I arise and go forth into the dawn of a new day, filled with the faith and assurance in the all-good. I rise, I sing with joy. I proclaim the one life that is in all and through all. I arise, I shout with gladness that this is within me. I declare this day to be complete, perfect, and eternal. One life, the all good. And it's in this moment that I know and declare this all good permeates all spaces. This one loving presence creating from itself and loving everything that it creates as part of itself, imbuing its very nature to those things. So I know that I am one of those divine things created, and I know this for myself, and I know this for each person on this virtual call. That this life of God gets to express uniquely and beautifully through each person here. So I know that we come together in this consciousness of our oneness with God. And I arise into this knowing, this Easter morning. So I know a blessing on Reverend Kevin as he speaks his words of wisdom. I know Gino and Georgia and Linda play the music of Spirit itself. So giving great thanks for this holy moment made holy by our presence. I surrender this time to love itself. And so it is. Namaste.
When I am down and all my soul so weary, when troubles come in my heart burdening, then I am still and wait here in the silence till you come and sit a while with me. You raise me on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas, and I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas, and I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas, and I am strong when I am on your shoulder. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Georgia Winfrey, who actually expressed so well what it is that we're celebrating today. The rising up of the divine self. But I've got to tell you, doesn't it feel so surreal, reality? I think with Easter, it's just come home to me how surreal, how weird everything is. And I want to take a moment and just acknowledge, all of the losses, all of the disappointments, maybe the fear, the loneliness that we've all felt at various times. And I know some of us are settling into the rhythm, this new rhythm, but I think it's important to acknowledge that which we're going through. None of us have ever been through a time like this. And Susie, Jamie Lula's wife, Susie, sent out a quote that I want to mention. I want to read because I think it's a powerful quote for us during this surreal time. And it's this: we have never been through anything remotely like this. And whatever you are feeling or experiencing is okay. We have never been through anything remotely like this. You are doing the best that you can, and it's enough. So I invite you on this Christmas on this Easter morn, which is unlike any Easter any of us have ever had, to just be patient and compassionate with yourself and with each other and with anyone else who you happen to be in isolation with. So, as I promised you, one of the ways that I want to help us get through this is to begin each talk with a joke. And I know you've been waiting all week for this. I know that. I know you have. So, but actually I'm going to cheat just a little bit. I'm going to say the joke that I said last week because many of you didn't hear it. And I understand that the frame froze. So I'm going to tell you this really good joke. So there's this guy, Patrick O'Kelly, and he's looking for a parking lot in a very crowded parking structure, and he's got a job interview that he's late for. So he's very anxious and he's very nervous and he's looking all over for a parking space and he can't find one anywhere. So Patrick folds his hands and he bows his head and he says, "Dear God, if you show me a parking space, if you give me a parking space," he says, "I will stop drinking beer and I will go to church every Sunday." And just then, the clouds parted and the sun shone down on an empty parking space right before him. And Patrick O'Kelly looks up and he sees this empty space. And he says, "Dear God, never mind, I found one." I love that. Isn't it great? I love it. I'm laughing here, the only one in the room, but I love it. So we're getting that laugh track, so you'll know when to laugh at my jokes. It's on order. I promise it's coming. So the Easter story, what is it? You know, I mentioned it's the resurrection of the rising up of the divine self. But let's explore it a little more. This message of Easter is always apropos, and I probably say that it's apropos and meaningful every Easter, but it really is this Easter. It's a really powerful message for us, and so I want to explore the story, and I want to talk about the message. So a couple things in exploring the story. And the first thing is that these sacred stories, the Easter story, the Christmas story, all sacred stories, they meet us where we're at. So they always have something new to tell us because we aren't the same people that we were a year ago. We've evolved through a year. The world certainly isn't the same that it was a year ago. And it won't be the same a year from now. And so the message of these sacred stories, for them to be meaningful, they always meet us right where we're at. So as I explored this story this season, I was excited to see what would come up, and I got a powerful aha about the meaning of this Easter story, particularly for us, how we've in the situation we find ourselves in. But first, I want to talk a little bit more about the context of this story. So we can't just take the story of Easter and have a full understanding of what it meant. We've got to take the whole story of Jesus' life and death. Just like one day in your life couldn't begin to address all of who you are. It's the same with the Easter story. So I think a good way to sum up the life and the death of Jesus' life, is that he experienced a radical and deep experience of God's love. And this deep and radical experience of God's love, it did three things. For him personally, it made this love of God more powerful than any fear or struggle he was going through. This experience of divine love made him, it was more powerful than any religious norms that he grew up with at the time. And this experience of God's love was more powerful than any of the political or cultural expectations that Jesus found himself in. So this love of God for Jesus, it became for him the most important thing in his life. So that's one thing we know. Here's the second thing we know. As Jesus opened to this love and shared this love, it was contagious. So other people around him also felt this love, this deep, transformative, radical love. So much so that Jesus would be walking down a beach and he would turn and he would see someone and he would say, "Come follow me." And they left everything to follow that love. So what was happening in Jesus' time is the crowds were on fire with not only his message, but who he was as a loving presence. And it spread like a wildfire among the masses. And so what happened was Jesus, in this spreading of love, Jesus challenged, and this love challenged the status quo, because it was a threat to the religious authorities and the political institutions of his day. And so it threatened them. And so their response to Jesus was that they must get rid of him, because he was stirring up the masses. He was threatening the status quo. And so what Jesus shows us, not only in his life, how the divine self raised up in above every circumstance, but even in death, he rose up above that. Now, I want to pause here and say that this idea of death became for Jesus a threshold to experience a greater light. That's the message. That's the message that we see on Easter Sunday. That even death could not keep him from a radical experience of God's love and God's life. But I want to point out here that this teaching that I'm talking about right now, this specific teaching where death is a threshold to a greater experience of light, is not confined to Jesus or to Christianity, but it's a universal truth. It's taught by most spiritual traditions that death becomes a birth. So I don't think that Jesus, nor would he say, or Christianity has any claim to this truth. It's a universal spiritual truth that death can usher in for us a greater experience of light. So when we delve down a little deeper into this story, we may ask, well, what caused this rising of this divine self in Jesus? And I think that it's this, and I think it's the same for you and me. You and I get caught in how we think things should be. You and I get caught up in our own thinking of what's best, of how things should happen. And you and I, when things don't go our way, right, we try to control them, we try to manipulate them, we get stressed, we struggle. All of this activity keeps us in the small self. Anytime you and I are in judgment, or think our way is the best way, or react in stress, or react when we feel threatened, all of that cuts us off from the experience of God's love, from the experience of grace. We close down to it. And then what we do is we live in that small self. We think our way is the best way. We try to control and manipulate the world in a way that we want it to be. And what spiritual teachers, and today when we look at the story of Jesus, what his life tells us is that there's a need for a breaking apart of that small self, so that divine wisdom and divine presence and divine love, that which is infinite, can flow through us. So what we see in Jesus' life is when he went to the desert for 40 days, we see that he actually confronted his shadows. Those places where he was fearful, those places where he struggled with what was power or what was authority. We had Jesus in his last week having experienced a great deal of betrayal and meeting that betrayal with forgiveness. We have Holy Thursday night where Jesus hits rock bottom, the agony in the garden, and how painful that was. And then we have the dying process, the letting go of everything. There is within here a process that awoke in Jesus the divine self. And this process isn't Jesus' process alone. Buddha went through a similar process. Arjuna, Moses, they all went through, Muhammad, they all went through a similar process, Mother Mary, in which the small self had to fall away so that within us, which is infinite and divine, could rise up. I'm going to invite us to just take a breath here. This is a powerful story for us right now, when so much of what we're experiencing is out of our control, right? It's out of our control. So when I was with this story the last couple of weeks, I had a huge aha. I had a huge awareness for my own life, and maybe you could relate to this as well. And it's this: I always looked on the story of Easter as like the divine awakening. It was the moment, it was the moment of the breakthrough, the resurrection, the conquering of death. It was the event, right, that almost like proves Jesus was right, or somehow proves Christianity. It's like Buddha's awakening. Buddha had his awakening under the Bodhi tree, and then everything was different. And that one incident, all Buddhists could kind of point to as the founding of Buddhism. And it's the same with Arjuna in the awakening with Krishna. It's the one event. It's what, we have spiritual teachers who point to that one event. Eckhart Tolle points about his awakening, and Adi Shanti could point to his awakening, and Guru Mai, she could point to her awakening. So we've got that. So I've always looked at the Easter as like the one event that proves it. But I don't think that's accurate. I think a better understanding of Easter is that the possibility of Easter is with us every moment. That every moment, every moment, in every space, there's an opportunity for us to rise above the conditions and the stories and the illusions and the falsities and the judgments that we hold on to. And each moment we could surrender to what is and rise up above it. And I've got to tell you that for me, I feel like this story is so very powerful, maybe more so than any Easter that I've experienced. Because there is such a surrealness to our world. There's a realization, there's an awareness that at the end of the day, we're not really in control. As much as we try to be, as much as we struggle and try to manage and try to control. So I think the message of Easter is to just let go. Let go and be. And allow that small thinking, that small self to break away. So it's the choice in every situation. Am I going to play victimhood in this situation? Or am I going to be empowered? Am I going to rise above this situation? So one of the most difficult things about this experience for me is missing you guys. And I have to say, when I saw Liz and Brenda, Tony and Lee on video here, I felt some real joy in seeing them and some real sadness in our separation. And so I invite all of us to just be present with what is, so that that which is infinite and eternal can fill us and move through us. Rumi says, the wound is sacred because that's where the light gets in. The wound is sacred because that's where the light gets in. So I'm going to invite you on this somewhat surreal Easter morning to join with me in prayer. I'm going to invite you right where you're at to close your eyes, to breathe right into your heart space. And as you close your eyes, just notice that what you see is darkness. And be with that not seeing. Be with the integration and the deepening and the not knowing that darkness brings. And just sit for a time in this stillness, in this dark, empty space. And in this stillness, observe, experience, open to a stirring, a movement, a call. In this darkness, open to a sacred flame, a light. The radical depth of divine love. So right now, just as we are and just as we aren't, we open to the experience of infinite love. Let it burn through us like a fire. Let it move through us as waves of grace. And we experience a lighting up within ourselves, an awareness of, a deep awareness of God's love, of divine love. And we join, right now, we join all creation. We join the birds and the sun and the moon. We join the waves and the dolphins and all animals. We join the flowers in awakening to divine love.
God of creation, there at the start, before the beginning of time. With no point of reference, you spoke to the dark, fleshed out the wonder of light. And as we breathe, 100 billion galaxies are born. In the vapor of your love, our planets form. If creation sings your praises, so will I. I see your heart in everything you do. Every burning star, love and grace too. If the stars are here to shine, so will I. So will I. Source of creation, there at the start, there to guide us through. Your love you have given, on nature and science, follow the sound of you. And as we breathe, 100 billion creatures catch the breath, evolving in pursuit of what was said. If it all reveals your nature, so will I. I see your love in everything you do. Every canvas-skated sky that shows you. If creation sings your praises, so will I. So will I. If the stars are here to shine, so will I. If the mountains rise in reverence, so will I. If the oceans roar in greatness, so will I. For everything exists to lift us high, so will I. If the wind blows where you go, so will I. If the rocks create in silence, so will I. And I'll sing your praises. I will sing 100 million God of creation, you open my heart God through all of my doubts and fears. On love you created the light of the world surrounding us here. And as we breathe, 100 billion judgments disappear. The love you filled me up lives with me. If the stars were made to shine, so will I. I see your heart in everything you make. Every canvas of the sky you love and grace. If the stars were made to shine, so will I. I see you in 8 billion different ways. Every life you give, love, your love is always. If the stars were made to shine, so will I. So will I. The one who'll never ever leave, the one behind. So will I.
Wow. So that song we're going to have Gino do the first time that we're together again on a Sunday. It's kind of an emotional, maybe kind of emotional. And what you see in my eyes are allergies acting up, actually. So I want to share with you, we're working really hard, the staff and volunteers, we're working really hard to support all of us during this time. And so for those of you who are supporting us financially from the depths of my heart, I am grateful to you. I'm grateful to you for your trust in us and for your generosity to us. So I ask all of you to consider supporting Universal Spirit Center financially during this surreal time. And I've asked Eileen Bonning to write a letter for us, since we can't see Eileen, to write a letter for us during this time of conscious giving. So here's a letter from Eileen Bonning. Hi everyone, this is Eileen, who has been a member of Universal Spirit Center since 2009 and an ongoing volunteer even before then. I am here to tell you why I give to this amazing community. It has loved and supported and uplifted me and has been the greatest joy of fulfillment for me in all areas of my life. In addition, getting to work with both Reverend Kevin and Lee has been totally outrageous, fun-loving, morale-building, and an educational experience. And the best educational experience I could ever want. It's opened my heart and soul to the depth of trust and belief in our oneness in a way that I have never experienced before. And I am so grateful. And so at this time, I ask you to place your hands over my heart, over your heart, not over our own hearts. And I'm going to read our reading this morning as our prayer. So place your hand over your heart. Take a deep breath in. We rise up and go forth into a dawn of a new day, filled with faith and assurance and all good. We rise, we sing with joy. We proclaim the one life that is through all and in all. We rise, we shout with gladness that is within us. We declare this day to be complete, perfect, and eternal. And so it is.
I am opening myself to believe. I am opening myself to receive that everything I want and everything I need, all of this and more, waiting patiently for me to believe and be open to receive. I am opening myself to believe. I am opening myself to receive that everything I want and everything I need, all of this and more, waiting patiently for me to believe and be open to receive. Ow!
So I invite you to join hands with whoever you're with, if that's safe. Or if you're by yourself, to place your hands over your heart and close your eyes. And imagine with me in your mind's eye that we're all together. That we're creating a huge circle, that we're joining hands, that it's safe to be together. And breathe a deep breath in, into this sacred circle. So we create a vibration of love in this sacred circle that welcomes in all others. And so we just have an experience of other people joining our sacred circle. Doesn't matter who they are, this circle is open for all. And we imagine beings of light, angels, joining us in this circle, taking our hands as well. So in this moment, we're connected with all beings everywhere in a huge circle. And imagine with me, in the center of our circle is our beloved planet. And with love, we gaze on her. We experience our interconnectedness, our oneness. And we shine light and healing power upon our planet. And so just feel from your open heart a ray of light moving towards the earth and blessing it and holding our planet and all beings in the experience of love. And we let the love
We let
wash over us.
the love wash over us. We let it be. Join me. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Let the Easter joy flow through. Joy, joy. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. Let the peace, 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 peace. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We're going to see you next week. Love you, Universal Spirit Center. Love you, universe. We let